Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. Today is Friday, August 15, 2025, and I am back with video number 76. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, I'm so happy you're back. And if you're new, you are so welcome here. I really appreciate the new subscribers I've gotten recently. I'm only 46 away from reaching 5,000. So if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, I really encourage you to do so. It doesn't cost you anything and it really helps my channel. I would appreciate that. And when we hit 5K, we'll do something special. Let's see, what have I done in the past 2 weeks? Well, there were several days with no stitching because I had some travel time for a couple of different things, and family visit, went to hobby house retreat, had a day that was at the state fair, not the whole day, but it took a huge chunk out of the middle of my day. But anyway, I went to the hobby house retreat, of course, in Rochester, New York. I had in-person stitching with Central Kentucky Stitchers. That's always so much fun. And I also had Zoom stitching with friends. And one thing that I experienced when coming home from Hobby House at the airport in Rochester was very interesting with TSA, little issue. My carry-on bag was, I'm TSA pre-check, but my carry-on bag was shoved aside to get extra special inspection. The light. Apparently, they've never seen this before. This was quite an inspection. After she figured out how to unzip the bag. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but come on. Hobby House has retreats all the time. Many stitchers have this exact same light or a light. Okay, so she got it out. Tried to see if that could open. Could she open that? Fortunately, she didn't peel it. She went like, oh, I'm adding my own sounds. I didn't hear any sounds. I'm not kidding. She did this. And this, and this, and saw that I had the documentation for it in here. So she pulled that out and read, and I mean she read. Okay, read, called someone else over. What is this? Oh my gosh. Looks pretty dangerous, eh? Anyway, that was the first time happening. And I didn't even notice, of course, there were other stitchers in the vicinity. One I knew was a couple people behind me. I kept going, what? What is this about? So I didn't see if she pulled out my charging battery, the recharger, when it runs out of, I didn't even see if she took this out or not. I don't know. It's lithium also, of course. So that was a little experience. I never had that happen before. So, just saying. Okay, so that was interesting. Okay, comments from last video. I appreciate so much those of you who take the time to make comments and ask questions or answer my questions. That's great fun. And I got a question from a relatively new stitcher, and I had referred to my DMC book, and she wants to know what it is. So let me show you. And the discussion was that I had finished Martha Miller, and I did one change to the pattern in that I changed a color. These little flowers down here, you see just very light purple, were supposed to be stitched the same color as the swans, which I had to backstitch, and the same color as the smoke, which I didn't backstitch because I don't care if that's ghosty. And I said I used my DMC book to find the lightest shade of purple to just give a hint of color there so I didn't have to outline it. So this is what I mean by DMC book. This is the DMC book, and it has actual threads, in all these columns and more. So you can see the colors of the DMC thread. So here's what I did. I went to the purple column. The columns are by color families, basically. I went down this column and selected what to my eye was the lightest color, and I chose 3747, and that's a color DMC that I had in my stash, so that's what I used. So that's one way I use this. Another way I have used this book is if a pattern calls for a DMC color that I don't have, and I don't know what color that number is, you know, without knowing. So I go to the back of this book, and every DMC is listed in numerical order. So you can look up the number, what am I looking for? And then it tells the column, the number of the column that you will find the thread. Each of these columns has a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So here's an example. Let's say I have a pattern and it calls for number 369. Well, I don't know what 369 looks like. So I go to the number list in the back, find the column, and it says, no, I'm looking upside down. And it says 369 is in column 10. So I go down column 10 and find 369. They're not in numerical order in the column. Okay, here's 369, light green. And I look in the column and say, well, you know, this is pretty close. I could use that color and not really change the overall look of my piece. So I'm going to do this one and say I have this one in my stash. So I can compare actual colors with actual colors without having to go to the store and see what I can find. So that's my DMC book. That's how I use it. People who are design, of course, have many more uses for it, I suppose. I believe I bought it about 3 years ago, and I believe it was around $25. But it's not going to wear out. I'll have it forever. And unless there's a huge change in DMC colors, it'll continue to be useful. So this is what I call my DMC book. That's the answer to that question. And thank you so much for asking that. I need to be reminded sometimes that I have new viewers and young stitchers. So, okay, the other thing I had asked, I had been showing some of my grandmother's quilts over several videos, and one of the comments last time was it would be really nice if you could put your story about the quilt and the fabrics that you have memories of that are in that quilt on the quilt, you know, attach it. And I had asked for ideas. How would you do that? Brilliant ideas. And probably within about an hour of when I posted my video, I got a text from Margret Crawford, and she told me about 2 companies that have QR codes and a patch to put on the back of a quilt. And with the QR code, you can have pictures, videos, stories, your voice, and so forth. So I looked them up. One of them, the app is no longer available. So the one that is available yet is called quiltstorylabels.com. I'll put it in the notes below, so if you're interested in this, and that is still available. And I went to the site and looked at the labels, and all of the labels have pictures on them, like cartoony drawings. I mean, they're sewing related and so forth, but I didn't want that. I want a plain label with the QR code, and then I can write my own information on it. I've contacted the company to see if that's possible. If it is, I'm definitely getting that, because I think that'd be a great way to have that permanent story permanently attached to the quilt. If they can't get a plain label for me, I'm going to use some of the other brilliant ideas that all of you, so many of you, and all of you gave me. And I've kind of put them together in my head, and, you know, typing out my story, inserting pictures. You know, I can do that. I used to do that when I worked. Inserting pictures, and I can have pictures of the fabrics that I have personal memories about, and the story of the quilt and my grandmother. And then I'm going to put a fabric envelope on the back of the quilt, fold the paper and put it inside that envelope. I'll have a little flap on it so it won't fall out. And that would attach the story and the memories, you know, because another generation gone, and that's gone. So I really appreciate all those suggestions. My first choice is the quilt story label. And then my second choice is I'll, create it and attach it to the quilt with a little fabric envelope. Thank you so much for all those suggestions. That I appreciate that so much. You put thought into it and took the time to let me know. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, those are the comments from the last video. And before we go on, I want to remind you that my mother's daughter, KY, Janet, and I are hosting a patriotic sale. It's called #Stars and Stripes Sale. And we are our official start date is September 1st. We would love to have you join. We're stitching these two patterns. It's 3 pillows, but it's 2 patterns. Stars from Plum Street Samplers and Stripes from Shakespeare's Peddler, Kitten Stitcher. And we have created a timeline that if you follow that timeline, you will get them done by Memorial Day 2026. You'll be able to have your new patriotic pieces out for your whole patriotic summer as we celebrate our semi-quincentennial. I'm really looking forward to getting these done. I loved them when they came out at market and I just didn't get them. Well, I have them now and I'm ready to go. We'd love to have you join us. And of course, your timetable is your own. You do it as fast as you want or as slow as you want or stop or whatever. Or if you started these previously and are ready now to just pick them up and go, do it, please. And we have a Facebook page, so I will put that in the notes below. Be sure to post, and on Instagram, of course, post your getting ready. This is the fabric I'm going to use, or here's where I am. I started this last year. I'm going to continue. Whatever, let's share it. I saw Janet on Tuesday, and she said we have over 60 people on the Facebook page already. So I'm thrilled. I am so thrilled. And if you're looking for a way to do something new, patriotic, and you don't want to do a huge thing, consider joining our sale. I think it'll be really fun. Okay, so we'll be talking about that some more as we go along. Let me show you my book of days. As I said, there were some days I did not have stitching. I had washi tape marking my hobby house trip. Some non-stitching days for driving and non-stitching days for flying. And yesterday was a wipeout too for stitching. But I did get some stitching done. So from last time, I showed you that I had finished the stitching of Red, White, and Bloom from Brenda Gervais. They were all backed with the interfacing, ready to be stuffed. Well, here's how much I've zoomed along. I chose the backing fabric. I sewed it on. I haven't even trimmed the corners yet, but they're all ready to go. So I hope by next time I have these done. I don't know. Anyway, I should be back to a regular normal schedule, more stitching and so forth. So that's that. I have a stitch finish, not a fully finished. This comes from the book Winds of Autumn by Blackbird Designs, and I've stitched Spell of the Moon right here on the cover. This is now the 4th I have finished out of this book. Of the 6, I did A Mighty Acorn, October 31st, Spell of the Moon, and I think this is called First Winds of Autumn, the big strawberry with the crow on it. I love that book. So here's Spell of the Moon. Finished the stitching. It took a ridiculously long amount of time to do it. I thought I would take it as an airplane stitch, and I don't stitch on an airplane. The holes bounce around. I can't do it. Just like I can't stitch in a car because of the bouncing. So this is stitched on 32 count flax linen from Zweigart. I used Classic Colorworks Black Coffee and Classic Colorworks Honeycomb. And I think Honeycomb was not the called for, but I liked the color, so that's what I used. And then I substituted in a DMC 645 for the gray. They're just the 3 colors in this Spell of the Moon. And I have a fancy trim. The trim that is listed in the book is not available at now I'm going to be saying that, Hobby Lobby anymore. So I have a sparkly black beaded trim that I'm going to put on that. So I hope to have that done to show you next time also. So that's my finished object. And I had time to work on whips. My current focus piece is Gott. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I always have a focus piece, which is my oldest whip. I require myself to stitch on it 7 days in the month. They can be continuous days or they can be days scattered in the month, but 7 days, and it remains my focus piece until it is done. And that has been a very successful system for me. So this is Gott from Needlework Press. And I have I'm stitching it on 46 count Caramel Macchiato from, where'd my eyes go? Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using all the called for classic colorworks. And, oops, okay. So since last time, one of these was not finished. I don't remember which side it was. And then I'm moving up here, getting these filled in. I got that done, and I'm doing this, and there's the big flower up here. So I'm gonna get the other doodads done first and make sure it'll fit in, so. Now, I have had an issue with this on the amount of thread called for. It did not indicate I needed more than, I just listed the colors, and it didn't say I needed 2 or 3 or any of them. But the green, you see the amount of green, the grass and the trees, and then here, and then there's going to be more around that rose in the leaves. That's Secret Garden, Classic Colorwork Secret Garden. So there was my first skein, gone. And when that was almost gone, I ordered more. Here's the second skein, almost gone. Unfortunately, I had ordered 2 extras. So here's my third. And I'm definitely going to get to my third. So just heads up, if you're doing Gott, you're going to want 3 skeins of Secret Garden. Okay, and then after I had packed to go to Hobby House, I packed my stitching gear, and I had some time and didn't really have anything current to work on, so I pulled out a new start. This is from Scattered Seed Samplers, and it's called Vintage Charm Pin Keep. Pin Keep. Isn't it cute? I am stitching this on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha, and it calls for all DMCs, so I'm all about it. So I did the whole border, and I'm doing all these little doodads around, and then I just started this green that goes under the basket. See that under the basket? So that's a nice little start. And this pin keep, as far as I've glanced at the instructions, it's not one that opens like a book. It's really more like a pin cushion. So there it is. It's going to be sweet. I love the antique-y look of it. Okay, the next thing I did, I took Mrs. Campbell along with me. This was my birthday start this year, and this is what I started stitching on before we received our first project at Hobby House. I love this one. I love those flowers. Okay, she lives in my birthday bag from Berry of Stitch Folk. So my birthday start always lives in this bag. This is the second year I've had a birthday start in that. And my threads, there are a ton of colors in this, ton of colors. I have from Berry of Stitch Folk, Mr. Bean, and wait. And then, where is it? Oh, here we go. And our Miss Jean. So cute. And then I didn't have enough of those, so I had to put some on a thread drop. Thread keep, whatever, thread keep. And here is Mrs. Campbell. I've gotten some more flowers done. Those flowers just glow. Look at those colors. And they're DMCs, they just glow. This row of alphabet is all regular cross stitch, and this is eyelet. I love eyelet. You see it? Oh. the texture of eyelet, I just love. So I've done the whole border, outer border. I have a couple dividing lines yet to put in here because the flowers will continue down here like they do up here. They go round and round. So I have some more lines to put in there. Oh, love it, love it, love it. That's Mrs. Campbell from Hands Across the Sea, if I didn't say that. And then, this is kind of giving a little bit away about the hobby house, but the first item we got from Nicola, Hands Across the Sea, was this one. It's called Margret Koi. Look at those. It's so different. Polka dance. Look at the action. Their feet, you can just see them. And then Tom Thumb's Carriage. And as always, Nicola gives the history. She shared that Margret misspelled her name on the sampler because she spelled it the way she hears it pronounced. And there's actually an A. She spelled it Margret instead of Margaret. So that's one thing. And then Nicola pondered about how 4 years after Tom Thumb appeared in London and was such a sensation, she stitched this. How did this little girl, who was nowhere near London, do that? Well, a teacher taught her, had a pattern and taught her. And the polka dance also. That was quite a sensation around that time. And so the polka dance. This is such a different sampler. It's so much fun to look at. And okay, here, I'll show you what I finished. I just, you know me, I jumped right in and got my bones done here. Got the outline done. The next line of border is going to be a bright blue, and it goes inside here. And Nicola had encouraged us to think about making the sampler our own, doing something different. So I'm copying my friend Dana, and she did the blue in Montenegrin stitch, and it's straight, 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 straight. I can do that. So I'm going to do Montenegrin stitch. And she came up with a way to do queen stitch for the strawberries. And that took some figuring. Dana is pretty sharp. It's not just a one-to-one match to the X's on the pattern. She had to do some adjusting and counting for the queen stitches. So I'm going to copy my friend Dana and do queen stitches on the strawberries. That's a lot of strawberries, but that's going to be fun too. So that's my plan for Margret Koi. And did I say this before? I don't believe this is exclusive. I think it said something about limited something, someplace I read. Maybe it was in the Hobby House information. So it may be available at some time. I don't know, but that's my guess. So that's Margret Koi. Okay. Oh, and we got all of the SWA 103s, and I'm going to get them out of this and get them into a nice holder. And right now I'm going to clear the decks and be right back. Okay, I have some haul to show. Let's see. This one is expected. This is the Classic Colorworks, my floss club from Fat Quarter Shop, my regular monthly arrival, and then my Week's Dye Works, and I have not yet put the hang tag on, and not, oh yes I did. I've already punched the extra hole. I like the extra hole so that when I've started some thread, I can put the remainder in the extra hole and not in the big main hole. So I have these. They will get, now that I've shown them to you, they will get put in the boxes. I also showed you last time about a class from Tiger Lily Carrie, and it's a bag that she featured this fabric, this Tulip Pink fabric on. And I had shopped and found some similar. I could not find the queen face. Well, great friend Lisa found it on Etsy. She just corrected me the other day. Was it Etsy? Was it, can't remember, Lisa. Anyway, so she ordered it for me. I bought that. And actually, I have quite a few faces on here, so I can do quite a few things. So that's fun. I'm looking forward to that. Saw Shelley's finished bag. She did a great job. She's a new sewer, and she did it. So let me tell you, don't be afraid of that class. Carrie gives good instructions. This is a tool, a new ruler that I got from Fat Quarter Shop. It's a Creative Grids ruler, and it's called the Folded Corner Clipper. And I saw it demonstrated for cutting the diagonals, not only for squares for quilt, or triangles for quilts and flying geese and so forth, but also the diagonals for putting your binding pieces together. It gives the perfect angle, and you line it up the correct way, and you don't end up with those dog ears hanging out that you have to trim off. So very nice, and I've used it already, and I like it. So if you're interested in, that's the Folded Corner Clipper. And oh, this is not giving anything away. There is a demonstration video. If I can hold it still, don't shake. If you want to check that QR code, you can see it demonstrated. You might be interested in that. And I got it, as I say, at Fat Quarter Shop. Now, the rest of the haul is related to Hobby House. Okay. Here are the patterns I purchased. Fannie Louise Parker, another little girl red sampler. She's going to join the other little girls in my folder for my red samplers. And these next two, I've seen on Flosstube like forever and just hadn't gotten them. Well, when they're right in front of you, go, yeah, I want that. Anne Roberts, 1842. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I love it. Another Hands Across the Sea, Jane Fittis. No, she has specialty stitches. You can see specialty stitches in there. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Jane Fittis. So those were 3 patterns, and that was before I even started getting the patterns from the retreat. I don't know, I just sort of had to have them, you know. And then there's a gift that we received that I'll show you later. And Nicola gave us instructions on how to put this together. And it called for invisible sew-in magnets. So I got them from Amazon. And I'll show you the project in a little bit. I've never used these. I've used magnet snaps, but I've never used these. So I'll show you the project in a minute. So I'm ready to go on that project, Ellen. Okay, I've never stitched a Bristol sampler because I'm intimidated by them. They're large and I'm intimidated by them. And at this retreat, we ended up getting 3 Bristol samplers. Well, okay, I've got 3 of them. I better at least start with one. So I selected one, and I'll show you in a minute, and then I bought the 103 silks for it. So I have those ready to go. I've ordered the fabric I want to get for it, and it'll come sometime. Okay. This is how I packed a bunch of stuff in my suitcase to get stuff home. That was one heck of a packed suitcase, let me tell you. Which is another thing that made me nervous about them taking my lamp out. I had so carefully packed fragile things in there in a certain way so they wouldn't get messed up. And then when she started putting stuff back, I said, can I repack that? Just no answer. She just put stuff back. I saved the stuff. I repacked it afterwards. But anyway, enough about that. Okay, so I also purchased another 103 for the red sampler. And the fabrics I bought were 46 count because I want to go more to 46 count from 40. And this is, I'll take it out. This is Maple Bar from Cedar River. This is 46 count. all the stitching fabrics I bought are 46 count. Get that one out. Okay. They were so meticulous about putting everything in bags, which was lovely. And this is 46 count overcast from Cedar River. So here's Maple Bar and overcast. It's kind of shadowy here. There, you can see a little darker. Okay. And I had a shopping list when I went. I needed 2 classic colorwork colors that I was almost out of. So got those, bandana and blacksmith blue. This is Fiber on a Whim 46 count cappuccino. Okay, let's do this again. Overcast, Maple Bar in the middle, and cappuccino, Fiber on a Whim. But wait, there's more. I could not find Dirty Teacup, but I did find Thornfield from Needle and Flax. Isn't that pretty? So I got that one. Again, 46 count, because that's what I got. And wait. Two Thornfield 46 count. So that's the same. Okay. There are the fabrics. Cross-stitch fabrics, not all the fabrics. I also bought a tea towel from, and this is Nicola, all pre-printed tea towel. I think I can make a project bag out of it. I don't use tea towels, but I think this will make a nice project bag. And I bought a piece of her pre-printed. This is the Maria Vincenzo Laricchia. I'll just open it up and show you. Pre-printed. Again, I have project bag plans. Where's this? Okay. I didn't think about opening them before. Well, where's the... Oh, it's all nicely tucked in here. Woo! Like a package. There we go. Okay, this is half of it, but it turns the pattern all different directions. This is the half size because it's folded over. So there's that. Again, project bag I see in the future. Okay. And I got another panel of pre-printed from Nicola. Or by Nicola. I bought it, but anyway. And this one has, it's tucked so nicely, and I'm just undoing it. Oh, looky, looky. There's Mrs. Campbell, and I don't recognize the name, can't read backwards. Something Bally, that's the Irish one, Bally something. Bally something. Oh, there's Ann Thomas. I saw this done. Dana finished this one. Her stitching is perfect. She pin stitches her start and her stop. She does not carry. She does not tuck tails underneath. Pin stitch. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then what's this one? I don't know the name of that one. Oh, this one. I know that one. I recognize that. Wasn't that the Queen of the May last year? I could be wrong. Where am I? I know I've lost track of what I was showing. I did Ann Thomas, that one, that one, that one, that one. Oh, and then here's this one. Did I show that one? And again, that's just half of it. Just half of it. Here's one. Another one. These are so fun. Who's this? Does that have a name on it? Susanna DeCarlo. Oh, I've got that one ready to stitch. Maybe that'll be my next red one. I could make a, no, I'm not. Anyway, whoops. Oh, upside down, sorry. Another one, can't read it up. upside down. So, fun stuff. Fun. Lots of fun in my future. Okay, then I was also looking for colors to go with some of these and this, because of course it's not just, now wait, what was this one for? There was a specific one, I saw this orangey kind of red. Maybe it was this one. Maybe it was this. I'm thinking that orangey or red. Went with that. But anyway, so this is quilting quality fabric. That one got gold, got a green because there are golds and greens in there. Got a dark red. And actually, this dark red is what I got to go with. Okay, Minnick and Simpson, they've now both retired. This is their last quilt fabric collection, and it happens to be called Grand Haven, which is my hometown. So I got 3 of the big flowers, the white or cream, the navy, and the red. And I see project bags in my future with this. And I think this will go with it. And I have some, okay. So that was all Hobby House. And then I had a trip to look for lining. I didn't want to pay, you know, the top price for lining that's on the inside. So I got some less expensive, just some neutral, kind of a little cross stitch there, a little cross there. And this blue is beautiful with the blues in this. And of course it's the same blues. In that, you see that? You see that as a lining? Ooh. And oops, and this. So we got some bags coming. Sorry, from Michigan. Bags. Okay, so that was my personal haul. And I'm going to clear the decks and do a little review of Hobby House. And if you've seen others, fine. I won't have anything new, but I will get to the specific quilted pieces behind me, which you've not seen before, and they're interesting, and plans, and be right back. Okay, I'm back. This part will be all about the Hobby House experience. I haven't caught any other Flosstubes yet who have done a review, but if you've seen one, you know, you can scoot through this. I was so excited to be in Hobby House. For one thing, I've heard wonderful things about it for so long, and it lives up to all expectations. The amount of patterns, the flosses, different brands, so many different brands, different kinds, different colors, huge selection. The fabric room is outstanding and a bit overwhelming, but I was not as overwhelmed as I was at the attic. That I had been kind of I was so overwhelmed, I was just kind of frozen in indecision. So I was ready to do it this time. I made decisions and I did make purchases. The quilting fabrics are wonderful, such a selection. And then there's the woolworks. Oh my goodness. I walked through and there was one piece there, just took my breath away. And if there had been a kit, I would have gotten it. Fortunately for me, there was no kit, so okay, moving on. I don't need another rabbit hole to go down, but oh my goodness, such gorgeous, gorgeous quantity and quantity and choices. It was wonderful. So the place is wonderful. If you're ever in the area, go. And those of you who live near there, and I know several of you who do, oh, lucky you. And then meeting the people in person. Of course, the people I've met before. I shouldn't start saying names because if I forget somebody, I'm going to feel terrible. But okay, Brenda and Laura and Barry Stitchfolk, Roberta Sable Stitcher, Teresa Jersey Girl. I'm so rude to call you that. I'm sorry. Kathy Decker is not a Flosstuber. She has been on Flosstubes. My friend Cindy, I met at the ranch retreat. She's the one who got me hooked on signing up for this retreat. So good to see you again, Cindy. And two people I have been Zooming with for the past 2 years, every other Thursday for 2 years. Met them in person. That was so nice. Dana and Joanna, oh my gosh, they are real flesh and blood people. They're not AI. So it was great to meet you guys too. And then the people who introduced themselves to me and said they liked my channel and they watched my channel, that was just so heartwarming. I so appreciate that you took a moment to let me know, and I can't remember all the names, I'm sorry, but that was wonderful. And of course, the three teachers, Nicola, Kathleen, and Ray. Well, they were designers. They, not so much teaching as I've had at Nicola's last one, where she was teaching all kinds of specialty stitches, but just a wonderful, wonderful retreat. One of the first things we received is this beautiful stitching tray. I believe this, and correct me if I'm wrong, those of you who were there, I believe this was a gift from Hobby House. And then Nicola gifted us these, this was pre-printed on a velvety fabric that she gave us in one piece, and I cut it with my rotary cutter and trimmed it and put it in. And I did use acid-free tapestry tape, just a piece on each side, just so they won't tip out if for some reason it gets tipped over. But what a sweet little stitching tray, and it's beautiful. And this, these come from the pattern that she shared with us, so these come directly from that. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and at the last retreat I was at, she showed us how to make these folding Ort containers. She said, you put your scraps in, and when you're done, just throw it in the bin. Well, I'm not throwing this away. This time I actually succeeded in folding it correctly, so I'm all excited about that. So again, this is taken from the same Bristol sampler that, oh, and I do have my threads in there, that she gave to us, and I'll show you that in a minute, but there we are, little and full splat. Oops, very sweet. She also gifted us with a card. You know how she does cards. And this is a replica of that sampler that we have the pattern for. So nice. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now things are going to get out of order, and I'm trying to remember. Is this from Ray? From Ray or Kathleen? I can't, it's just, I can't, all it is the pattern, so I can't show. But that is Ardelia Cowell, and I can't remember which designer gave that to us. Here's another thing I can't remember. So if you were there, please tell me. This, that was in this little paper bag. It's called something, something scene, I don't know. What was that to go to or with? I can't remember. Was it something about the calling cards or something? I can't remember. So let me know what I'm supposed to do with this. We received a bag from Nicola. They were not all the same design. Some had the Millthorpe design, and then this is the one I got. This is the Irish one, Hannah Campbell. Ballipalatti, sorry. Okay, took bag. We also got from Nicola another tea towel. She said we could lay it on our table to cover our work at night when we left. It's beautiful, beautiful. What's the name on this one? Elizabeth Harding. So another tea towel. And from Nicola, We received a pre-printed panel to make a project bag that will go with Margret Coy, the one with, you know, the dancers in the Tom Thumb's Carriage. So I'm ready to make that. And we also received a pre-printed panel to make a Stitcher's Companion, and she has a video that gives directions on how to do that. And this is the project that these sew-in magnets were for. So it'll be a little folder, it'll fold like this, and the magnet on this side will stick with the magnet on that side, and you'll have your little project in there. That's that. Okay, now we come to the patterns here. Not have a landslide here. I'll move things over. Okay. From Kathleen Littleton. This is a personalizable little sampler. It can be made a birth sampler, wedding sampler, or something that you want to memorialize a date or an event. It's from Kathleen Littleton. This is from Ray Niles. She made, she pulled out some smalls from the Bristol sampler that she shared with us. So little pin keeps, Needlebook. And again, they come from that sampler. Henrietta. This is taken out of a Bristol sampler, and it's made to fit on a box. I have not read this yet to see how we get the box. Is there information in here? 7x7 burl box by Old Colonial Designs. And then there is a contact email to get information about that box. Yeah, I'm going to have a landslide here again, too. Okay. Color and Cotton Tambourine. Is this a table gift? Color and Cotton. I think someone gave this gift to me, not the designer. It's a little pattern, and it has a Color and Cotton thread in it. I think that was from someone else. Okay, this is a pre-printed panel from Nicola, and it's to make a hexagonal pin cushion with one extra print. So you choose the one you don't want to have included, and then you make your little hexagonal pin cushion. Oops, I'm going to knock stuff down here. Trifle tufted. This comes out of Ray Niles, out of her Bristol that she gave us, and she made some smalls that go with that. Okay, here's Henrietta, the full Bristol sampler from Kathleen Littleton. I don't know if you see it. Okay, see the cow down there? This is the first one I'm going to do. I like that cow. This one I got those 6 spools of thread for. And then Kathleen always gives a book. Her talk is essentially included in this book, and her multiple things that she talks about. So very nice. You can go back and revisit and reread, and other samples and examples, and it's wonderful. It's a little history lesson. This one is from Nicola. This is the Bristol that she shared with us that matches the inset in the wooden box. It matches the Ort container. That one is, who's it called? Oh, EM and LM. And they don't know who EM and LM are. So that's the second Bristol. And here is the third, and this is from Ray Niles. And she had a story about this one, about how she got this at an auction. And she was ahead of Kathleen Littleton in the line. So she got it. Anyway, very cute, very cute. So so I have 3 patterns for 3 Bristol samplers. And I showed you the one I'm going to start on, and I've ordered the fabric for that. Okay. Now, gifts from friends. And I'm going to apologize because some of these came from my table group, and I know who they were, but then others came, and I'm not entirely sure. And then when I packed things, they kind of got put together, and I may not have it all straight. So, from friend Cindy, she had this box, and she had several things in it. Now, other things have been put in here so they wouldn't get crushed in the suitcase. So, apologies, Cindy. The spool. Love it. And this I know came from Jen. She was a table mate. Two skeins of, what is it called, caroling, and year charms, and a thread ring. And this was from Cindy. 3 wool balls for finishing. They can go in a little, they make little, inside an egg cup, they could make a pin cushion. I think this was from Cindy. It's a needle minder. Look at that bling. It's so cute. And a needle case. All very princessy, all very, I'm too cool for school. See, and it rolls up like lipstick, and then she has a needle in it. How cool is that? She was all about the cutesy. And I think this, this hand cream came from, oh, for heaven's sakes, Roberta. It got tucked in here so it wouldn't get squished in the suitcase. And this sweet little bottle, and there's a needle in it. I think it was Cindy, pretty sure. And it's like all kind of girly stuff. And a magnifying glass, lip balm, and one of these little things you can do a cross stitch a little thing and put it on. And a little hanky. So that was Cindy and others. Okay, and Dana, this and this, and a little notebook. And I'm already using the notebook, so I can't show it, it's upstairs. I've started using it to write down what I ordered, where I ordered it from, and what project it goes in. I need something dedicated to that, so thank you for that. This is Kathy Decker. Look at what she did, this little needle book. So cool. Oh, heaven's sakes. It's made from some of that pre-printed fabric from Nicola. Needlebook. How cute. How cute. And it's magnetized. I'm sure, yeah, it's sticking. Yep. That's Kathy. And this was Lisa, table mate. It's a thread keeper and a needle minder. I've already used the needle minder, and some stickers. Thank you. This is from Janine. Our table was all, by the way, it was all Queen City Sampler Guild members, and there were quite a few tables that had Queen City Sampler Guild members. This matches my fig tree fabrics that I used in my big tote bag and my purse. Remember those I made? Beautiful, love it. And this was from my new friend Jennifer, who watches my channel. Knitted dishcloth, love it. Love it, love it, thank you. From Teresa, Jersey Girl. So it could be a scissor fob or a zipper pull. I'll probably do a zipper pull. I love it, thank you. From Naomi, table mate. Look at that fabric, isn't it gorgeous? Gorgeous, and ring inside. She also gave us a bling. Anyway, you hang threads on that. So that's all Naomi. Whoops. Ellen, co-founder of Queen City Sampler Guild. And I put some things in here to keep them from getting bent. But this gorgeous, gorgeous bag, I mean, this is a quality bag. And she picked up books from the art, was it, she said she was in Detroit, right? Yeah, the DIA. About silks. I'm gonna look at that. And then I apologize. I don't think this was from Ellen. It was someone else and I can't remember and I apologize. But I put it in there so it wouldn't get bent. I'm pretty sure that's not from Ellen. This is from Ellen. Ellen's design of these smalls. Thank you, thank you. And then there's a little freebie, la-di-da freebie, heart and hand, and I don't know who that was from either. But I had tucked those in this bag also so they would not get bent on the trip home. Whew. You see why my suitcase was extra packed coming home. So I'm going to pause there. And we'll come back and do my plans and talk about the quilts. Hang on. Okay, my plans for the 2 weeks until my next Flosstube, which will be August 29th. I have too many unfinished goals for the month for the amount of days that are left. And that happens when you have 2 weekends that are completely taken out. You have the day before and the day after, getting there and getting back. So we had a family visit, and then I had the retreat. So anyway, I will start attacking my goals in this order. And Gott, I've only given her 1 day, and she has to have 6 more days. Red sampler, I need to get started. I think I have chosen the Susanna Carl as soon as, just as from going through the things from the retreat. I have not touched my BAP. I wanted to have 5 days on a BAP each month, alternating. I don't know if I'll get to that. I have not touched the specialty stitches yet. I don't know if I'll get to that. And I would love to start on the Stars and Stripes Sal stuff so that when we get to September 1st, I can show a bit of a start. Don't know if it's going to happen. And speaking of the Stars and Stripes Sal, I want to thank Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot and Tara from Sully Stitches for shouting out our Sal. I appreciate that very much. We would just love to get as many people as possible participating, and we appreciate that. And of course, I'm co-hosting that with my mother's daughter, KY, Janet, and very much looking forward to that. Okay, now I'm going to show you the quilts. Okay, these are 2 wall hangings that were designed by Judy Madsen, Judimadsen. She is a great long arm quilter. I have taken online classes from her, never an in-person, but she's a great teacher. And these 2 she designed with the little patchwork, and then had 2 completely different quilting designs to show the contrast. The one on, well, as I'm looking at the screen, it's my left. This one, is traditional, and this one is modern. And I'll give you a close-up of each of them and explain why they are what they are. So we'll start with the traditional. Okay, now don't touch a button, Karen. Okay, so feather work around the edge. Very traditional, go around the edge. Inside the center square, you see double curve. Okay, now I've touched something and it's moved. Double curved, continuous curve, I mean. But it sticks with the patchwork determining the design. Whereas when we come over to the modern, you see that the quilting design breaks up the space in a very different way. that, okay, something's going on with SIRI. And now I can't see. Okay, I hope I'm seeing. No, I can't get rid of that. Siri, stop. No, it's not. Okay, it's blocking half my screen. I'm sorry, I apologize. But you see how these chevrons come in and break up the space in a different way that has nothing to do with the patchwork? And down here also. And then this, again, this comes up and it seems to go underneath this block, and it comes out again at the other end. That again is another very modern look. And then on the inside of this, these squares are going under the patchwork and coming up underneath, and they're filling in that way. So that's a very modern approach to the quilting, as opposed to the very traditional where the patchwork determines the pathway, and the modern, the quilting goes over and under, and it pops up and seems to reappear and disappear, and it kind of ignores the patchwork as such. So that was a really interesting class to take from Judy Madsen. If you are a long armer and you ever have the opportunity, I would strongly, strongly encourage you